Guys, welcome to the I Podcast. Today's gonna be a banger. It's gonna be a banger. I mean, as usual, we're trying to give you a banger show. For those of you who don't know, my name is Patrick, and I'm going to be your host for tonight's show. Right along my co-host with me, I have Dr. G with me. How's it going, brother?
Mr. Pat, how's it going?
Hey,
Hey
it's
guys, welcome to the iPodcast. Dr. G's in the house. We're gonna have fun together. Should I like
Let's go. How was your weekend, brother?
Weekend was busy, but hey, we made it.
We made
We're
it.
getting ready for
We
another
made it.
week.
Yeah. And Miss B, how's it going, Miss B?
It's going all right. It's going pretty good. How are you?
I'm great. Being a little busy, but we're maintaining. So how's your weekend going so far?
So far, so good. I'm just not happy that it's already Monday. It's been
Yeah,
a crazy
it's
weekend.
close.
I feel like I only had one day out of the weekend.
I know it's
Not
crazy.
happy at all.
Yeah. So any experience for your week? But mine was kind of boring, but busy. I mean, same thing. But anything for you? Anything new? Any experience that you have for the week?
Actually, I might have something for you guys. And as you guys share the live, I'll tell you guys a little bit of story of my thing. And I do have some questions to see if you guys feel the same way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I have this friend. I was having a conversation with him, and he said that he wish he would have known the difference between a woman who wanted to fuck him versus a woman who wanted to be with him. In your, different stage of life, was there ever a time that you feel like, like that moment clicked for you and then you change your ways, or were you always known, the difference, and, or if you had known, would that make you change your way or the way you perceive or your performance with that woman? And that's for you both. You could start.
Right. As of like, if I ever known like a woman who's really here to do with me to do something serious, or someone who wanna like
Right.
do the what he do. I mean, I cannot speak for every man. I mean, through my experiences, I mean, it was never that. It was never like, it was always kind of like on my hand. Like it's like, hey, I mean, I was usually like honest with anybody that I have experience with. Like, listen, hey, this is what we here to do. As far as if we just gonna kick it, that's what we're gonna do. I mean, and if it gets to a point where things gonna get serious, it's always like come out like me realizing that. I mean, although that I can sense the attraction as of like move it from friend to serious. If I don't really want to do it, it's not gonna happen. But it was never like me trying to wait for her to want to take it serious. I mean, that's just for me.
Interesting.
Gee, what do
So
you have?
it was more about what you wanted versus.
Yeah, it was. I mean, should I was selfish with it. You can say it that way.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. What do you have, G?
What was the question, Ms. V?
If you know, well, I don't know if you knew or always knew, but like if you had known the difference between a woman who wanted nothing other than to have sex with you versus a woman who wanted something more, someone who values you, who wanna spend the rest of their life with you, would your experience with them be different, or your like the I guess your approach to them, would that have been different?
As a man, I'm talking for most men. That's what I think they need. They really want to do. Most men don't really look for to settle down until the woman asks them to do so.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? And then without the woman access, you can really settle down. Most of the time, we're looking forward to smash.
Okay.
After that, the way
Amen for that.
based on how they behave, how they act you, how they treat you. So you can't say that she's a keeper until she say, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
You feel me? And,
Yeah.
then, and then we settle down. But
They always pop up that question to us. What are we doing? What are we? What are we? I mean, I don't know.
Oh no. Oh no.
What are we? What do you mean? What are we? I mean, it was mentioned to you.
So you guys had always been clear about like, when you just want to be friends, and then where like the woman say or agree to it and then change their mindset on that.
Yeah, I can only speak for myself. I mean, I was always being clear. I'm not trying to send you la la land. Sell you la la land. Like, you know what you're putting yourself into. Not that I'm saying there was no possibility of taking things to the next level, but it
Right.
usually start like that for me.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you for the question, Miss B. I hope we answer your question. I hope we
Sorta,
did.
kinda, but I'll take what I get.
Sorta, kinda.
No, well, from what I understand, is like you guys don't mind being the hey, are you up man kind of.
Oh
guy,
yeah,
like,
sure. Well, we talk about like in the past. Right now, we're in a different stage of life right
Yes,
now,
sir.
right? But in the
Take it.
past, yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot us a text.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, we up. Shoot.
Okay, well,
Guys,
that's it. I really wanted to kind of just see where you were, in that. But good to know.
But
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well,
Interesting.
wouldn't you appreciate that, Miss B? Where you can send a text that I hate you up, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm up."
Well, no, that's not what I was hoping to get. Like, I was.
No, I'm saying
hoping to see
in a scenario like that, wouldn't you appreciate like you in a scenario as of like you can just shoot a text and get what you want?
that. Yeah, why not?
Nah.
If this is what I want and
Yeah.
I get it, I don't see nothing wrong with it. But I guess my perspective. My whole thing was like I was hoping for something, deeper. You guys just like, yeah, I'm ready to be
Deeper?
done,
I think it was deep, don't you think? Dr. G.
I'm just saying, you guys like,
Come
I'm
on,
ready
Miss
to
B,
be
let's not do
doggy. I'm
Come on,
just
Miss
saying.
You don't think that was deep?
Come on, Miss B.
No, y'all just pretty much there like, I'm willing to just like, you want me? I'm available. Like,
Yeah.
No, listen, Miss
Ready,
B.
and let's go.
Listen, Miss B. Most men don't get that. Even though sometimes the woman wants you, she's not gonna come to you like that.
Yeah.
Because that's why when we get the chance, we go for it.
Okay.
If you're single.
Fair enough.
I speak. Mr. Pat said so. We taking them right now. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna tell you, hey, that's not my thing right now. So we're busy. We don't have the energy for that. But
sure.
back then, when we were single, so we tell them, hey, we don't get it easily. Sometimes, even though they like you, they're gonna make you suffer. They're gonna force you to talk to them, to ask for it, to beg for it in a sense. You feel me? If you get a chance to do so, hey, why not?
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Let's go to the topic.
Yeah, guys. Let's go to the topic. So without further ado, of course. So our topics for tonight is what is the difference between provider mindset men versus being a rich man? As of now, provider men aren't rich, but it's the mindset. I want to start with Miss B. So Miss B, what do you have?
Well, before I gave my answer, and that's because my experience with both is that, like, a rich man can be a provider. So can you elaborate just a bit, tad more of what you mean by that?
Miss B, Mrs. Elaborator. So do you want me to elaborate on the question, or like what don't you really like clear on the question? So like where do you want me to elaborate more?
Well, you're asking the difference between a provider's mindset versus a rich man. I don't want to
Yeah.
assume
So
that
okay.
rich.
So basically, being a rich man, right? Society already painted you as of like, oh, he's a provider. Even though like a man can see you as a, oh, he's a rich man, so he's a provider. But like, let's say on a woman perspective, so being a rich man, you automatically, implanted on a woman head as of like, yo, he can provide, right? Although you can be rich and don't have the provider mindset, versus you you're probably not a rich man, but you have the provider mindset. What I mean by that is, let's say you have $100, you wouldn't mind spending the whole $100 to provide for your family and get zero. Versus being a rich man, if he's worth $1 million, he only spending 2-3% of that $1 million on you. We can be 2, 3, or 5% of $1 million is a lot of money, right? You might think that, oh, this man can provide, but yet again, he's not really sweating to being a provider because he already got it.
Okay.
So although he might not have the mindset, but because he has money, it can seem like, oh, this man is a provider, but he probably not really a provider. He just have money.
Okay.
So I hope I'm
No, that was fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Well, how about a woman picking a rich man who has a provider's mindset?
I mean, it's highly possible, but
you know, I'm just saying, because I mean, here's the thing, you know, not just for women, you know, we all have needs.
Right.
Okay. Depends on where and what stage the woman is in. If the provider's mindset, and I'm assuming that that provider's mindset would probably fall under either the poor or the middleman, like, you know, the kind of, you know, when it comes to financial. So if they're already struggling, correct? I mean, even though that this man's heart is in the right place, where if he had it, he would have, you know, provide, but he just doesn't. And I don't even have it myself. If they choose to go with the rich person, I don't see there's, you know, I don't.
You don't think they'll call you a gold digger because you want it easy?
Well, it depends. It depends, because here's where the gold digger comes from, right? When the woman is literally using you just for your money. Doesn't mean that if so if one of the reason that I be with you is because you were financially secure, there's nothing wrong with that, because I don't see how is that a gold digger if what I'm going to be bringing to the table is supposed to add or multiply what you already have, instead of just draining, you know, what you have. Because that's what I think, that's where the difference come in. Because if what you have, let's say you have 2 million, and what I'm bringing, even though I don't have anything right now, but I could use what you have to multiply it, that's not so much as gold digger, because we're going to be benefiting from it. I'm not draining you.
Right.
I don't know.
Don't you think that being a provider doesn't always mean, you know, being financially free, like have financial freedom in a way? So you can provide in different way, as of like, you know, emotionally, a man or a woman can provide that, you know, with safety, honesty, and all that, and be there for you to the core, peace of mind, and protect you to the core, ready to catch a bullet for you.
Absolutely.
That's also, you know, being a provider, right? I agree. You know, just because a man can buy you a few, you know, Gucci bags or Louis V does not mean that man can provide 100%. Usually you see like the woman that would go for that money security ended up cheating on that man because that man can provide nothing else but money.
Well, that's assuming. Like,
what do you mean that's assuming? I mean, we've seen that a lot.
Okay, so women automatically think a man who, you know, who's rich could, you know, meet their needs, right?
Right.
But we also have that, like, you know, stereotypes where rich men is incapable of taking care of a woman. And that's not always true. You know, that's not always the case. Just because he has money doesn't mean he's mindless. You know, because I mean, there are people, and then there are two different type of people, where someone who's born into the wealth versus someone who worked to get there, and understand that their mindset will be totally different. And not that I'm saying like someone who was born to the wealth is not going to be, you know, having a provider's mindset, but I think someone who has to work for it to get there would have like a certain value. Like, you know, with them that they carry. So when you meet these type of people, it's a different, I guess, world, you know, that you experience between a man, like, you know, who is not yet at that stage.
Right. I mean, I agree with you in a way, but we're gonna get back to you, Ms. B. So, Dr. G, what do you have?
Can you repeat the question again for me and for the audience?
Dr. G, come on, man. Get with the program.
Let's go. You get it.
All right. So the question goes by, what is the difference between provider mindset men versus being a rich man? As of now, not all provider men aren't rich, but it's the mindset that they have.
Interesting. I think there are two different people because there's a lot of rich men. They are really cheap. Provider mindset man, they will do everything to provide for his family, for especially for something that he loves, families, kids. He'll do anything. He'll work at McDonald's, gas station, anything to provide for his family. Where there's some rich men, they want to buy the services. They won't give you $100 for no reason. If they want that, they will give it to you to get that. You feel me? But the provider mindset, they don't really need anything in return. They just do it.
What's wrong with that?
Like what's wrong with what?
What's wrong with someone who look at his support as an investment? What's wrong with that? Because if I'm giving you 2 and I'm expecting 4, what's wrong with that? I mean, isn't that how rich stays rich? Because here's the thing. If you keep giving, eventually you're going to run out, right? And what they're saying, like, I'm not going to give without getting something in return. So
no, that well, I said for something that they love, provide a mindset. Like, your family, that's your family. You should provide. That's your job as a man. That's why I'm saying, like, a lot of rich men, they don't have manly traits. They don't know what is provided. They don't even. Some of them are not really well men. No disrespect.
They were just born into a rich family or stuff like that, and they don't really know how to, like, go down to the core to actually provide, regardless if you don't see it, if you don't know how you're gonna provide, but you do anything in your power to just provide, right?
Yeah.
So we're not saying to having a provider mindset means like you are poor. It doesn't have to be like you poor. That means like you're gonna do anything in your power to actually provide. That means you can also end it up being rich, but at the end of the day, you already have the provider mindset.
okay.
So being a rich man, having a provider mindset is 2 different things, but they both also can be rich, right? So go ahead, G.
Yeah. So as I was about to say, so most rich men, some of them, they don't really have many manly traits, so they don't know how to be a provider. They just know, I want this, I give you the money, give me back my thing. You feel me? I pay for it, give my service. Where there's a provider mindset, man, he will do anything, as I said earlier, to provide for what he loves and for his family. He will do anything. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Probably don't have the money, but but he will do anything to get the money to give it to somebody that he loves.
Yeah. I really dig that.
So, I'm trying to understand, I'm trying to think, like, so you're saying, like, the providers would actually go ahead and, work anywhere, like I think you said, the kitchen work and whatnot,
Anyway,
just to give,
for his family, to provide for his family.
just to provide to his family. And a rich person would buy his way out of it.
Yes, and anyway, yes.
So he will pay Patrick to do the work
Yeah.
because he has the money.
He will
Because
pay
maybe
me.
he was, exactly.
But at the
Maybe-
end of the day, that needs is being met, right?
I agree, but he's not fully do. Okay, again, let me give you an example. Let's say he was born and then his dad had money. He don't really know how to make money. He doesn't really know what his dad did to make that money. For him, he got it like that, so he doesn't mind giving $1,000 to get that services. You feel me?
Some of them, but yeah.
Some of I'm not talking for all of them, obviously.
Okay.
but for most of them, like they don't mind to give you $1,000 to give me my services, but they don't really put like sweat for it. They don't really work for that whatever they asking for. In a sense.
Let me ask you this. If you were in their position, you had the money and you had the opportunity to pay somebody, which means giving somebody a job to, meet your needs, would you?
Eventually, I'm not in this position, so that's why I'm talking like that. So I don't know. If I was in the position, maybe I was gonna think differently. So
Okay.
eventually, I'm not. So too bad.
But you do want to become rich or even at that level of income eventually, right?
Of course, I'm already rich. I just don't have the money yet.
So if I slap my finger right now and then you become, you have the money, you're making that much a year. And by the way, what do you guys describe as rich versus poor? What income level would you say is, rich? How much should you be making to be considered as a rich person?
Well, there's different type of wealth. There's if we talking financially, so
right.
It's part of being wealthy, being healthy as well. It's also
so the financial aspect of it.
The financial aspect
income,
of it.
Like, should I be making 50 away? Like, 6 figures? Where's the rich, income level start? I think there is a number actually.
I think
you, like, when you hear the word rich.
Yeah, I think for the American society, like, you be part of the rich. Being rich does not mean you're wealthy, but rich financially. You have to make like from 7 figures and up. That means you're rich. Okay. That means you can live in like, a couple $1 million home and not even feeling a thing. So yeah, so that's how that's how it is for the American society. I mean, you can also make, if both partners are making 6 figures, you can be comfortable, but you're not rich.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you? G, what do you think? Same amount? When you hear the word rich,
I see $100 million. At least you have $100 million on your bank account, and then you have everything else too.
$100 million. Oh my goodness!
I mean,
a year, $100 million,
$100 million in your bank account. I mean, brother, we both know money should not be sitting down.
Their net worth should at least be $100 million.
Worth,
but how much should they be making a year? Like, how much income should be coming in? What do you think?
Monthly, you said?
Yearly, because everybody, like, salary wise, like,
100,000, we're good.
100,000.
Yeah,
they considered rich.
That would be rich.
That's like what? 100,000 is like 6 figures.
I would say 100,000. 100,000 a month. Is that what you said?
You said monthly or yearly?
Yearly.
Yearly, 100,000. Yeah, that's nothing, brother.
That's
100,000 a month. Yeah,
a month.
That's $1 million a year.
Yeah,
let's say 1 million. Yeah, you rich. A year, yearly on 1 million.
If you're bringing in at least $1 million a year,
rich,
you're rich.
You're considered rich. Yeah. Okay, just to kind of see where your mindset is.
So, Ms. B, let me ask you this: if they put 2 men in front of you, a provider and a rich man, which one would you pick?
If they put, like I said, a rich man could be a provider. So.
Ms. B?
Is this rich man? So I'm gonna ask you though: is this rich man not a provider? Are we assuming
I can't get into details with that.
Well, I need some kind of thing.
Let's say I come here and then I come with a rich man who's already established financially. Mm-hmm. That's all you got. That's the only information I'm gonna give you.
Okay.
And a man who already has a provider mindset, like he's going to the core to provide.
I am.
Which one would you pick?
100% will pick the rich man.
Of course. I mean, Ms. B, you would not be the only person picking the rich.
It's not even that. I mean, if we're really being honest sort of us, like with ourselves, right?
Without knowing that rich man can be a serial killer.
It doesn't matter. But let me hear you
He
though.
could
If
be
we really
this and the
be
third.
100%, because you tell me you're not gonna give me any detail, so I'm gonna.
Right,
go
I'm not gonna give you
with
any
my
details.
gut.
The only thing I'm gonna give you is
a
rich
mindset versus someone who already
versus-
has it. Not the mindset; it's already there. So I'm telling you, 100%, I'll pick the rich man.
And why? Why?
Well, here's. If we're really being honest with ourselves, right? About 80 to 90% of our problems could be solved with money. We agree, right?
Yeah.
We agree. I don't have a mindset. I already have a mindset.
Right.
So if he's a troublemaker, we'll get him right. Oh, I just use.
Oh, you think it's that easy?
You get what I mean?
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just saying. But if we're really being honest with ourselves, I mean, I get the part where, having a provider's mindset, yes, you could build with that and then eventually turn that into wealth and something else. You know what I mean?
You want the grass to be greener, not
Don't
knowing.
Get me wrong. But all I'm saying, like, if I had the option today between a mindset versus someone who already there, why am I gonna be why should I work harder? Hello? What's the saying? Like, work smarter, not work harder, or some bullshit like that.
I said, Miss B, I only give you the information as of like he's rich and the other one has a provider mindset. hear me out.
So if you add to it, then maybe my answer would change.
No, you don't have. No, you're not gonna know all these answers because like you just have to think smart in a way. It's just like if I give you the red pill versus the blue pill, because you know the red pill, there's gonna be a lot of challenging. But at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, you're gonna get the hardcore truth and you'll be a better person. Versus me giving you the blue pill, everything's easy and you don't know what the heck is going on.
Are you assuming that
I think somebody,
being rich doesn't come with problems?
Somebody would like to call.
Yes, please call. Are we assuming that being rich doesn't come with problems?
Somebody, Woko Mommy?
Yes, please call because rich people has problems too. I'm just saying.
Hello.
I think you have to tap.
I think it's up. Hello.
Hello, this is Rocco Mommy.
Hey, Rocco Mommy, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show as usual. So what do you have for us?
Thank you. So, Miss B was asked a very significant question.
Mm-hmm.
Would she choose a rich man?
Yes.
Thank you. So Ms. B was asked a very significant question. The choice between a rich man versus a provider.
Right. A rich man versus a provider man. Yeah.
Correct. And her answer was the rich.
Her answer was, I'll pick the rich man hands down. Without knowing any other information.
No second guessing.
Right? It's like, you know this guy's rich and the other one, he's just having a provider mindset. And he, and then, go ahead.
Well, as a woman, from a woman to a woman, I'm going to have to correct her.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, because I have you guys on the screen as well, so it's like all over the place.
No, take your time. Go ahead. We're listening.
So
it comes 5-second delay. Maybe she should put that down.
And I beg to differ. I have lived both worlds, and I have to tell you, girlfriend, the provider is the way to go.
Hey.
What defines a man in his full-on masculinity, as defined by God, as defined by nature, are three things: a protector, a leader, and a provider. Okay? Status, whether he came into your life as rich or poor, is irrelevant. If he came into your life as poor, and he has those three qualities that define him in his full masculinity, as a man to you, you as a woman, your duty and job is to support that and lead that way.
Let's go.
Okay? So what his bank account entails is absolutely irrelevant. It will not bring you happiness. It will not do anything for you. If he is poor and he is a fully defined man and he's willing to protect, provide, and lead, you as a woman, take him, embrace it, struggle with him. If he comes with money,
struggle is the way.
Do those same things.
Yeah, I'm learning. But if I'm being honest, though,
no, she's not done. She's not done. But go ahead. Sorry for cutting you off.
Yes, I am not done. Do not let the dollar signs fool you. Okay? A rich man is nothing but a man with a few numbers in his bank account. He could still be cheap. He could be a total failure. Those things do not define what makes him as a man. The fact that he is willing to provide, protect, and lead and respect you as a woman and value you as a woman and love you the right ways and all of those things, that's what defines a man. So do not pick between statuses.
Amen.
Pick between characters.
Amen.
Well,
thank you, Woko Mama.
I think she has a question for Woko Mama. Go ahead, Ms. B.
When
You
I
are
asked,
very welcome. And let me tell you, this is coming from an opinion, from a standpoint of a woman who has lived in both worlds. And hence, at the end of the day, I'm a single mom. And I am those three things to my child, to my family, in that single role.
We applaud your courage, Woko Mama. And thank you for joining in. And Miss B also have some questions for you. So
All right, go
ahead,
right ahead, Ms. B.
well, not a question. when Patrick asked the question, and I asked Patrick the character of the rich man.
Okay.
His answer was that that's all I get. He's just a rich man.
Yeah.
I didn't get to understand the rich man character. But the only person's character I get is the other person.
No, you didn't get the character.
A provider.
A provider, yeah.
That's his character. That's not his financial status. He's just a character, and we're just assuming that that provider is not rich in that scenario. And we are also assuming that this rich man is not a provider.
No, we're not assuming.
That's the picture you guys are painting.
Right.
But there's no way in this scenario, particular scenario, that says that this rich man is not a provider. Right?
But Miss B,
could he have been a provider?
The rich man?
Could he have been?
He could have. He
Okay.
could have.
So just saying.
But what we're saying is we didn't give you any clarity on having a provider mindset. Some men can just have the provider mindset and they're not really a provider. So that's why we tell you, like, hey, that man, he only has her provider mindset, and that man, he's rich. That's it. That's the only information that you
one
had.
where you give me a characteristic of one, and you're giving me the
with all due
financial
respect.
stability. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Let me interrupt both of you with all due respect. Defining rich is rich at heart. That's the way a person should be defined. When someone is rich, you are rich at heart. Nothing is relevant. I don't care how rich you are in a monetary way. You are rich at heart or you are not. That defines you as a person. Nobody should walk into a relationship or meeting a person and saying, okay, he's got a bank account, he's rich, he's going to solve all my problems, he's going to be that man. That's a surreal expectation. That's the people who watch the TikToks and live in that dream world. That's not the way world works. That's not what us real women deserve. And it goes against everything that we are supposed to be as a man and a woman in a union together. That should be so irrelevant, nothing to be looked at.
Correct. But that's the scenario that we're working with.
Right. Welcome, Mommy. Thank you for joining. It's always a pleasure to have you. And hopefully one day we can have you in person in the show.
I know.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Hopefully we can have you in person.
You guys are awesome.
Awesome. You're awesome
It's
as well.
good to
So
hear
thank
you.
for joining.
I mean, we love the comments, but it's good to finally
Thank
hear
you.
you.
Miss B. You're great.
All right. You have a good one. So yeah, guys, like we said, we appreciate Wukumami. She's been a one of a big fan since day one, so we appreciate that a lot. But yeah, so Dr. G.
Yes, sir.
So let's say we flip the coin. Would you actually? They put I would say a feminine woman in front of you. Right, a woman who understand herself, understand her femininity, and who embrace her femininity.
Isn't that going into the second
family
topic a little bit there?
Right, we're gonna get there, Miss B.
No, I'm
But
just saying. Are we going there right now?
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So like a woman who embrace her femininity and all that, who understand family value, versus quote unquote independent woman who does whatever she wants, but actually, I'm not gonna get details into the independent woman. So let's just say like she's an independent woman. That's all you got. Versus a woman who embraces her femininity. Which one would you pick?
Obviously. So first of all, we don't really need anything from women.
Right.
So second of all, so obviously we're gonna take the feminine woman. With a feminine woman, so that she could help you become the man that you wanna be. The man with the vision, the rich man that you wanna be. A feminine woman can make you rich. When you have an independent woman, she's only gonna care about herself. She's not gonna care about you.
Right.
She's independent anyway. She don't depend on you. But
Right.
when you have a woman depend on you, she gonna push you to do better. Because she knows when you do better, she's gonna do better.
What do you mean by saying when you have a woman depending on you? Like, what do you mean by that?
The fact that you mentioned independent, Right? She can make her own money. She has her own house. She has everything.
So that's how they describe independency for when a woman says it, right? That's, I would say, this is how society define it, right? But being independent does not mean that, you know, you can't do any of these things for yourself. So I just want to be clear that maybe this is what you mean by maybe this is what you're describing as of like independent woman.
Yeah.
Or is it like as of like being independent? I think like everybody should be independent. It's an adult. It's an adult way to actually take care of yourself, paying your own bills and all that. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but I was about to say I don't think neither one of us need an independent. Like the same thing for the guy. We need a codependent people.
Right.
You feel me? That we can depend on each other in a sense. But when you, as society stated, so this is how I portrayed it. So they say independent woman, I don't need you. I don't need a man. I can do anything by myself. I don't need no woman like that.
Right.
I need a feminine woman.
Yeah.
So who's gonna listen to me? Who I'm gonna listen to, and then that we can do great things together.
So basically, you're saying you want a codependent woman, not like a feminine that is codependent,
exactly,
or a feminine woman that is depending on you. Which one is it?
Codependent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate that, brother.
No problem.
So we also have a second layer on a topic that goes by: is the feminine movement is really helping society or women in general? I want to start with Miss B again.
Okay.
Miss B, what do you have for us?
Is the
feminine movement is really helping society or women in general?
Okay, feminine or feminism? Feminism.
Yeah,
the movement.
The feminine movement. Yeah.
Okay. I'd say yes. I mean, although the objective of the feminism movement is really to, address women's rights and their needs. But if you look beyond past that, you would see that in a big way, it actually also helps society, even directly or indirectly. I think it positively affect society. If you look at how the workplace culture changes, I think it pushes us to be more respectful as a society, to recognize each other in some ways because I feel like back then we kind of focused on one sex, and then now I feel like we're forced to look both sides, you know what I mean, as a society. Even the reduction of gender-based violence.
Right.
So I think in a broader sense, I think as a society, it affects us in a positive way.
Appreciate that. Dr. G?
Do I think like feminism movement is helping society in a sense?
Yeah. Do you think the feminine movement is really helping society or women in general?
Society, I don't know. I would say no. No, society, yes. Women, in a sense, no. I say yes for society because back then there's a lot of men who didn't know how to treat a woman in a sense. You feel me? And then as Ms. B stated, so work culture was different back then. There's a lot of things were different. In a sense, it's helping society, but women in general, I don't think it's helping women because women think it through differently. The way they put for me, I think feminism should help men treat women better in a sense. But women nowadays, modern women think like they have to be equal to a man, which is, to me, that's not the way it's supposed to be. You feel me? We each one of us has our own role. So you be in your role, I be in my role as a man, you be in your role as a woman.
Then that's would you say that you would agree where if a woman and men doing the same job, they still need to get paid differently?
The same job, like what job you talking about?
You know what? Let's say, I don't know. Let's pick customer service, right? You both
obviously, yeah. We both do customer service
because we're talking about women's right, right? So, if you say, would you say that because he's a man, because that's what it was, that he needs to get paid more versus a woman?
No, I wouldn't say it like that. But like, there's different type of jobs. There's some jobs that women are doing and men are doing. Obviously, you deserve to get the same pay. But like, if we talk about hard labor, I don't think you gonna get the same pay as the man.
My mom does hard labor, and she
Miss
worked
B.
these machines the same way.
Miss
Hold
B.
on, hold on. She worked these machines the same way. She lift these things the same way as a man would.
So
They
Miss
don't
B,
put two people where a man would come and help.
Miss B, we talking about
They would put two women or a man and a woman, like whatever.
what kind of hard
you
labor
are.
are you talking about?
I'm
What is
just
that?
saying, like she worked in a factory. So you
Okay.
said hard labor. So I'm just saying she's
That
working hard
being-
labor.
Working
so
in a
would
factory
you
does not mean
say-
it's only hard labor.
well, this particular one is hard labor. So I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
would you say, because she's lifting the same amount of pounds that the men would? It's not like they have a man's job where it says this is for men, or she's about to lift this box and they're saying like, hey, call a man to do it. No, she still has to do it.
Hmm.
So would you say that she still needs to get paid less?
No, I wouldn't say
versus a
that.
man? Okay. You're getting
I wouldn't say that, but I would say
Someone wanna call in?
I would say these world. I mean, who built this world? Us. I'm not saying like women don't contribute in that, right? But like if we talking about, I think Wuku
Mommy would like to
Wuku
say
Mommy want to
something.
join again, so we'll get back to you in a bit, Wuku Mommy. So basically what I'm saying is we talking about like building buildings like New York City, all these things. Who built it? Men. All these huge cities, all these road, all these big infrastructure, structure, like men build those things. I'm not saying women don't contribute. Yes, they do on their own way of contributing. You can see 1-2 women building this world, right? Like
But,
a road. Like, but it's not. There's exceptions on everything, but it's not in the whole as of like women are doing that. But you're not gonna tell me those men needs to get the same amount of pay as women. That's not fair.
But I think this
And-
big question was different than
What was it?
well, but before we go into deep, because we're putting our guest on hold right now.
No, she's
So-
not. We'll get back to her.
Is she on the line right now?
No. So yeah, go ahead, G.
I said the question that she asked was different than what you're saying. So she said that her mom is working in the factory, right?
Yeah, I told her like, yeah, she should be getting the same amount of pay. That if a man is doing the same job as her at a job place, it doesn't matter her gender. Like, she should get the same amount of pay. Okay. But I'm saying like in a whole, women don't do all the hard labor jobs. Men do it.
I think Okomami would like to say something.
Okay.
Welcome, mommy. Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right, what do you have for us?
So the question I believe was, did the feminism movement really do a favor for us as women, right?
Does
Well,
it benefit
does it-
society more, or
Is it
women?
benefiting? Or is it helping society or women in general?
It's not. It's absolutely not.
Okay.
It's absolutely not. Us women have a role to fulfill, and so do men. We do not have equal roles to fulfill. A woman was not designed to fulfill all the roles that a man can, nor was a man designed to fulfill all the roles that a woman can.
Let's go.
We both have different roles and voids to fulfill. And unfortunately, the feminism movement, which is fighting for equality, something that is completely absurd because there's no such a thing as equality between a man and a woman. We are not equal. We will never be equal. We were not designed to be equal. There are things that women can do that men cannot, and vice versa.
Well, I
Yep.
think they're fighting for equal rights,
The
though.
feminine movement of trying to fight for these rights that are so surreal, I'm sorry. And I'm a strong woman, and so is Ms. B. You are a strong woman, but we both know from a woman to a woman that there are things that we are capable of doing, that we are designed to do, that men could not do, and vice versa. So therefore, it is hurting us.
Interesting.
It is hurting the society of women that are still trying to define themselves and fulfill that role when we are being fought against, and the expectation is so high for us to be equals when it's really not a reasonable expectation. It goes against everything that we stand for as women. It is hurting us, to be honest.
Awesome. Ms. B has a question for you. Go ahead, Ms. B.
Go for it.
So, because women are fighting for equal rights, right? When this whole thing started, to have the same education, to be able to have the education, to be able to work, as a matter of fact, you know what I mean? So it all started to evolve society where women could get an education, where women could actually work in a workplace. So without that movement, we would still have women sitting at home doing, the role that the society deemed them to play, because that's what their strength, that's how they looked at our strength as a woman versus how they look at it as a man. So you're saying that this movement is not helping society at all?
It's not, because you know what, Ms. B? We have those rights. We have those rights.
Well, now we do.
In the United States of America, the country where you and I live right now and where we are communicating, we already have those rights. We already have those rights. So we are very privileged to have those rights. Are they really necessary? Are they benefiting us? No, they're not. They're making us women slaves to society. We are expected to be in a relationship, hold down an entire household, work a full-time job, carry children, give birth to them, raise them, all of those things. We have those rights. We have those rights. So whoever wants them, we have them. Are they benefiting us? Are they benefiting us, though?
Good question, Ms. B. Good question.
They are not.
Oh, I thought that was rhetorical. No. Is she asking the question, or she just?
If you are a true woman in her feminine status, and you are looking for that true man in his full masculinity, a provider, a protector, a leader, someone to lead the home, and yet you have to get up, breastfeed that child, change a diaper, drop him off at daycare, go in for a full-time job, come home, cook, clean, do all of that. Where has equal rights taken us? Where have we benefited as women from these equal rights? When we both know that at the end of the day, men and women were not created to be equal. We have things that men do not have. Men have things that we do not have. We cannot countermeasure those two things together to say that now we are equals. We were not created to be equals, nor will we ever be equals. That goes against nature of who we are. Do we have the rights, though? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Ms. B, you and I are both women. We both come from cultural backgrounds and immigrant families and all of that. We are in a country that has equal rights for men and women. Okay? Whatever way you want to choose to go, you have equal rights. We are in a country of equal rights. Does it benefit us as women, though? Does it? At the end of the day.
Good question.
Good question. So I don't know if you want to.
Are you asking a question, or is that rhetorical?
Live your life? Do I really want to live my life fulfilling a role as a man and a woman in my life? No, I do not. No, I do not. I want to be with a man at the end of the day. If we have to struggle together, I'm in it.
So be it, right?
I do have a question for her.
I'm the Bonnie to your Clyde.
Ms. B has another question. Sorry to cut you off.
Go for it.
Okay, so that last question, is it benefiting? Is that a question, or that was just rhetorical?
I'm sorry, ask that again?
Were you asking a question at the end there, or that was just...
I was asking you. So I said, after everything I said, is it really benefiting us as women to be equals to men?
So let me ask...
Something that is surreal, something that is really unnatural. We're not supposed to be equals. But I'm not speaking equal rights. We both know, you and I, that we have equal rights in this country in particular. I come from Africa, and I was raised in Europe, so I know all about rights, the countries that have them and the countries that do not have them for women. But we both are speaking right now, and we're both in the United States of America, and we have the rights. How is that benefiting you as a woman?
Well, before I answer this, you're referring to the household, right? Because a lot of the example you give was, the woman doing the chores and going to work and all of that, correct?
Correct.
Now, do you also believe that these chores are women role?
I believe that you should be in a relationship where a woman is what turns the house into the home. Okay? I'm old school like that. I'm a 1985 baby, but I was raised old school with my Arabic culture and Muslim background and whatever. But I hold value to those beliefs and morals that a woman is a nurturing person in a family. The woman is the homemaker in a sense of she takes the house and turns that into a home. And all of those things. The man, however, I expect to be the protector, provider, and leader. Okay? He might struggle. I'm in the struggles with him.
Okay.
But we have nurturing values as a woman that a man cannot provide. Therefore, right for that reason only, and that's only one of many, we can never be equals.
Okay. I don't think
a woman was created to be the nurturing person in a union of a relationship.
Absolutely. I love that.
So, with my understanding of it all, I don't think the feminism movement, yes, we are fighting for equal rights, but it's not asking us, they're not saying that we are equal. We're saying, I think, from my understanding, we're not saying that, though.
To be equal. It's to me as a woman, it's insulting even to that point to even claim that we would want to be equal to a man.
Correct.
I would never want to be equal to a man. I have fulfilled that role for the past 10 years of my life, raising my son by myself. Okay? There's nothing to be proud of with
Is that your understanding of the movement, that we want to be equal to men?
We are not equal. We're not.
No, right.
We're not.
Is that your understanding, though, for feminism? Is that what it means to you, that that's the message, that we want to be equal to men, or we're saying that we are equal to men? Is that your understanding of it?
My message is we are not equal, nor will we ever be equal. We're not intended to be equal, nor would I want to be equal to a man as a woman. Okay. Why would you want to be equal to a man? I fulfill my role as a woman at 200%, and I expect the same from a man. Are we equal? No, we are not, because we are two different genders, two different peoples. We are intended to have two different roles in life. Therefore, we can never be equal.
Correct. I agree. We can never be equal.
Let me add one more thing to it. Does that mean he's better than me? No. Does that mean I'm better than him? No. So don't get that confused. I'm not saying by not being equal, I'm better than him or he's better than me. But we cannot be equal. We are just simply not. We are not designed to be that.
Never. Correct. We'll never be equal. Agree with you 100%.
Which? Okay.
Country, be happy and grateful that we are in a country that if you choose that's your ideology,
go for it.
Be that.
Yes.
In this country, in the United States, if that's your ideology, that you have to compete with men and fight for that equalism and equality and all of that, then go for it, by all means.
At the end, you will suffer.
By all means. But it goes against the nature of who we were designed to truly be.
Okay. So my question was not that we are equal, we're saying that, but I'm saying, like, your understanding of the feminism movement, is that what you believe that they're fighting for? Is that the message you think that the feminism movement is? Like that, is that what they're saying? Women are equal to men. Is that what you understand it to be?
Absolutely. The feminism movement is trying to be, it's a tough game. It's like, we're equal to men and we can do whatever they can do and blah, blah. It's bullshit. It's basically bullshit. That's what it is.
Welcome, mommy. Go ahead, sorry.
Her full femininity, like she knows what she's created to be, and what her role is. And the feminine movement, like, it gave us all the rights. We have them right now. They need to stop fighting for more because we got it.
Right.
We already got it.
Welcome, Mommy. Thank you again for joining. You know, me and Dr. G been fighting for that. I mean, finally, a woman has to say it.
Yeah, man.
And hopefully somebody out there is listening and actually learn something today. Yeah. And hopefully both in you, right. And hopefully, you know, you and Bonali actually gonna sleep on it, and both of you guys gonna learn something tonight.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have different views of that on that.
I get to know you because I would love to talk to you.
Me too, Rokomami.
But thank you, Ukumami, and we love you, and we always having fun seeing you on the show.
Yes.
So, yeah, let's get it. So thank you for joining.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
All right. Man, Wukumami took over tonight.
She sure did.
Oh, she did. She did. She took over tonight, and we love it. We love it.
Yes, and if you guys want to call as well, you guys could call.
Exactly.
So don't forget, you could reach out to us to be a guest if you would like to be. You don't have to be in the state to be here physically. You could also be online, and we could project your videos from wherever you are, or your audio if you don't want to be FaceTiming, or you could also just call to if you can't keep up with the comments.
Yes, ma'am. You want to go to the comments, Mr.
For
Pat?
sure.
Yes,
Let's jump into the comment real quick before we shut this down. So Michelle said, "Wow, Wokumami." Okay.
Yeah, she was on fire.
I mean, Wokumami was out here. You know, she was spitting the facts of the facts, and we do appreciate that a lot. Indeed. The person name is Unjitang. Oh no, it was that. Anyways, if I don't pronounce the name correctly, I'm sorry. So he or she said, F the independent woman. I'm one of not being by
I am one.
I am one and not by choice. Okay, that's a woman saying that. F the independent woman. I am one and not by choice, but I'm getting the job done. Okay.
Hey.
And
good job on that, by the way.
Yep. And you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
We will never be equal because we have individual role to fulfill. Amen to this.
Period.
This is what I usually say. Just because a man is able to help you fulfilling your role does not mean this is his role. Vice versa. Just because you're able to support a man on a role that's naturally provide to him does not mean this is your role. So we are better together. Together, we are better. Together, we are stronger. Together, we can do great things. But first, we both need to understand our role. Naturally, right? Just because, quote unquote, your role is, hey, you have to take care of home, you know, take care of the kids, you know, cook and all that, does not mean a man cannot do that also. But at the end of the day, you need to understand that this is not his role. Just because he's helping you towards those tasks does not mean that's his role, right? So, Dr. G, what do you have?
Hey, welcome, mommy. You that was a good preach.
But at least she laid the ground for you.
She did everything that I wanted to say, though. I hope some female got some of what she just said.
Right.
You feel me? That's what I've been saying, man. Most female, that's the thing. They think that they are equal to us.
Yeah, I mean, we'll never be equal.
And at the end of the day, as I've been saying, like, they are more powerful than us.
Yeah,
they're doing most of the thing, but they wanna be equal to us. Why? Why would you wanna be equal?
You don't want that. The moment they get there, they'll be like, dude, I don't want it.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, dude, I don't want it.
I don't think they're trying to be equal.
Well,
and I don't think they believe
I think you're not
equal,
paying attention.
though.
If you think they're not trying to be equal, you're not paying attention.
What do you think, Miss B? What do you think they're trying to do?
No, I don't think they are trying to be equal or even want to be equal as you. I think the whole movement, or even if it's still even going on, and I mentioned, like, a couple of, gender bias violence that was, that's going on, that's happening. And I have participated and worked in these places and everything. So I see it, and I see it happening, how when men abuse their role. And don't get me wrong, and I think that's why the fight is still happening. But I don't think women is trying to be equal to men at all.
Okay.
And
what are they trying to do, Miss B? That's my
I
question.
think they are trying to evolve as who they are. They trying.
Evolve how? I think women always been evolving. I don't think men. I mean, I understand there were violence. There were more violence back in the day. Verbal abuse. I would say abuse. There were more abuse towards women, which we still do have abuse towards women. But now, what you guys are fighting for is just clueless to me. Because like at the end of the day, the end goal is to actually trying to get to a certain level and to just like kind of like put man in the bottom and then you on the top, where he will never, it will never be that way. Because once society actually get to that point, we will not have a society anymore.
How so? How is women
because
trying
this is
to
not
be
your
up
world.
top? What are they doing? That's
It's
being on
clear.
top?
I mean, it's clear to see it.
I'm
I mean,
trying to
when they
understand. What do you mean by
Miss
it?
B, when they describing independency, like, hey, we make our own money, we don't need a man, this and the third. What vibe do you
No,
get
that's
from
TikTok
that?
talking. But
What
I'm
do you
saying,
mean
like,
TikTok talking?
well,
Come on now,
You
like,
can't. You can't confuse.
Miss B, we have that conversation on the show before, where me and Dr. G is repeatedly telling you that men and women are not the same.
Correct,
And
and
you
I
kept
have
saying
agreed.
that. No, you kept saying we are the same.
No, I have not. And I said,
Dr. G.
I said
I lying
biologically
here?
we are not. I
she said
literally
right
said
now.
no. I said that we are not the same.
She agreed with us
I
right
did. No, even back then, and I said that biologically we are not the same. You have what you have, and I even said like women could give birth and you can't, and you have
Right.
certain strength that woman doesn't have. That part I had always
But
agreed
in what
agree.
way do you
But
think
what
we're
I'm
the same?
saying,
But in what way do you think we're the
I
same?
never said we're the same. That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is
G.
that
She said we're not the same. So
honestly, we could try to bring the video. I don't remember which
Yeah,
show.
we're
But
not-
I would,
we're
I would
not
be
gonna do
happy.
all that.
I
But-
would
but-
be
but-
happy to.
I have a question,
But what I'm
Miss B.
saying is
Go ahead,
that
finish.
woman is not trying to be equal.
what are they trying to
you.
do, Miss B?
As I said, like, us going out there to, like, let's say, I think somebody said, I am one, not by choice, I am getting the job done. So let's pretend that this particular scenario where woman is being independent, taking care of their household, being self-sustained by going to work and going to school, learn what they're supposed to take care of themselves. How is that trying to be better than men?
No, as a mother, you have that in you. If there's no man, you're gonna have to take both role and fulfilling both role. But
What
at
do
the
you
end of the
mean?
day, this is not how it's supposed to be. This is
So-
not how it's supposed
So
to be. You're
woman
supposed
who
to
has
have
a man
Right.
with a child is not supposed to go to school.
What? That's not what I
But
said.
that's what I'm trying to understand. What are you saying?
No, you're saying like a woman who's doing all that, like what is like why shouldn't she be doing that? I'm saying that as a woman, if you ended up being a single mother, you have that fire in you to actually occupy both role, a man role and your role at the same time. But at the end of the day,
but
like
it doesn't
Miss
come
B,
to you like that though. The discipline, like this person saying like I am one not by choice. There are women who's not raised to be independent, who doesn't have that mindset, because
Right.
it's not something you just say I am an independent woman and you become an independent. It's something that you have to instill in you. It's a discipline that you have to really kind of, I guess, take. It's a skill.
No, I think
It's a skill set.
I think it's how you raise. If it's how you raise and circumstances in life that could actually make you adopting this mindset of a dependency and then brag about it. Like honestly, on a man perspective, I can talk for myself. It's just like if I'm talking to a woman and then the first thing you're trying to say like, oh, I'm an independent woman, I make my own money, dude, it's totally a
But
turn
I
off.
think it's wrong to
a turn-
generalize that
Well,
this
well,
person or the few that are just like bragging, and maybe they have the right to be bragged. I don't know the
It's
reason
trauma.
why.
It could be trauma.
But all
It
I'm
could be
saying
trauma.
is
It
that-
could be trauma
But it's wrong to generalize because you hear a couple of women bragging about it to assume that every single person.
I'm not
who
saying every-
so-called had to take on that role to actually stay and then look forward to.
I don't
tomorrow.
think a woman will
you know, to
purposely
look at it
take
as a
that. I don't
wrong.
think a woman will purposely take that role. Circumstances make you take that role. I don't think you will purposely
okay,
pick
so-
to be a single mother, which society is pushing.
Are you assuming that us independent women are single mom?
Well, I'm just saying in a way. This is an example. It's not like I'm assuming.
I have a question.
Don't
Okay.
put words in my mouth
No,
now.
I'm making sure because
You know
you
what I'm
said
saying?
the word and you said
And
that
also,
nobody picked to be a single
so
mother.
let's
So I'm
just
making
let's just
sure
not
that,
say let's just not
you
say
know,
single mother. Let's just say like a
okay.
woman who just want to be independent. Like, yeah, I just want to be independent. You don't want no man, this and the third.
Okay.
I guarantee you, like we usually say, I don't want to keep repeating myself. All we give you, it's time. Will time you will realize that you making a horrible mistake. All we give you is time. That's it.
And then
I'm trying to understand by that.
What are you trying to understand?
You said all you give us is time. What do you mean by that?
Time that you don't even have.
I don't.
for those who think they are independent.
Yeah.
That's
So what
I'm
do you
trying-
mean by
They don't
time?
need a man by their side and stuff like that because
can't
they
do
can
everything by
they can
themselves.
buy themselves a pair of Gucci bag or a pair of Louis V, or they can actually pay their car notes and pay their rent. Rich.
So what does that time has to do with that?
Actually, these things that you're able to do for yourself, that should not define you being independent woman, quote unquote, because that's adultery. Like you taking care of yourself as a grown ass adult, because you don't see a man sitting there saying like, well, because I own a house, because I own my
Okay,
own.
it sounds like you're really pissed off at these
No,
TikTok
what I'm
women.
saying, no, it's
I mean,
let's
let's-
stop saying
wait,
TikTok.
wait,
Yo,
wait,
Miss
wait.
B's putting
You
words in
sound
my.
like-
Wait,
you
wait,
sound-
wait,
I mean, no,
let's-
like
let's
I'm saying,
rewind.
I'm
like,
saying
you know?
TikTok because I never said like it's
let's
TikTok.
rewind, guys. Miss B, I wanna get it because
Yeah, I don't-
what do you think of? What is your view of feminism movement? What is
I
your view?
have. I literally
What
shed
is
my
it? What is
entire
it? 'Cause I
opinion
didn't
to
grasp
you
it.
guys.
I didn't grab it. I didn't care. I didn't get it. Cause what the reason I'm asking you that, Woko Mommy said that you guys were fighting for equal right?
Equal rights, right? Correct. That's
And
the whole
you
point.
have it.
That's the whole point.
Okay,
of
now
the
you
movement.
guys
That's
have
how
it.
stayed.
You guys
That's
have
how
it, right?
Started. Correct.
Now you guys have every right like a man can have, right? Is that true?
Yes.
You actually
to
have
some
more.
degree.
They
As a
actually
matter of
have
fact-
more.
As a matter of fact, no.
Yes,
Because
yes.
it's still happening, by the way.
What's still
And
happening?
From
What's
my
happening,
last
Miss B?
job,
What's still
even
happening?
to my job right now, that there are still workplace who literally will have one woman just to say that, it's a whatchamacallit, it's a diverse culture.
But that's what
Don't get me wrong.
Miss B, that's
It's
what
still
Woko Mommy just said.
happening.
If their job is a construction job, most women don't want to do.
They don't want to do
labor
that.
job.
They don't want to do hard
So
labor
you-
job.
They're
I
not
want them-
trying
it-
to be.
Okay, then what are you saying then, Miss B? You want them to hire a woman just because?
No. Where
So
are you?
no,
What do you-
Miss
Miss
B,
B?
you said you said that some places
You're taking the
on
first
some-
word and you run with it, but I'm not
Okay,
sure
what did you say,
what
Miss
do
B?
you
What
mean?
did you say? Go ahead.
I said that there are some job right now
Mm-hmm.
who still would just hire one woman just to say that it's culturally diverse. As a matter of fact, or even people in color. But I'm not
Here's
gonna
the
go
thing,
there.
Miss B. Let me
But
tell you
I'm
this
gonna
real
stay
quick. I don't mean to
in
cut you
the
off.
woman
Yeah, let
versus
her
woman.
finish.
But there are still some job who are still just just doing it. And
Why?
are you asking me why jobs are doing that?
Yeah, because you said there's.
Are you
there's
asking
job-
me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. You said they're still doing it for what?
I'm saying like I'm experiencing that their jobs are just doing it just to say that they have a woman. They literally like every single interview would be just men.
Does that make sense to you?
That is happening?
Yeah, that's because they wanna say that they have a woman at the job.
So what exactly
That's
are you
that-
asking?
does that make any sense to you? You said there's some jobs.
I'm
still
not
doing,
making it up. It's happening.
I said does
All
that
right,
make
guys.
sense to you?
What do you mean
The
it makes
fact that
sense?
they're doing it just because, even though the woman they just iron the woman just because.
It's
that they
not a
can say-
construction job. So exactly what are you saying is if it makes sense
okay,
to me?
Ms. B, let me ask you this question. Do you know women and men handling stress differently? On a high level stress of job.
Everyone handles stress differently, period.
Okay. And I'm saying on a gender perspective, although people might come for me, this is not a sexist comment whatsoever. Biologically, we handling stress differently.
We sure do, yeah.
Okay. So on a job place, you wouldn't want that, the high level of stress jobs to be handling by women because listen, I don't want to go where I'm trying to go.
You sure are going there.
But we all know that. We all know that. We handling stress differently because women, when they stress, they're mostly leading towards feelings where men, I'm not saying there's not exceptions. I'm not saying all women can't handling stress. I'm just saying in a whole, right? As a whole, we are different when it's about handling stress. This is why I'm saying we both are stronger together. Like, let's just say in a relationship, like when there's a high level of stress, the woman mostly leading on I'm not saying we both cannot handle the stress together, but like leading for the man to make the last decision as far as the level of the on the level the stress get, the man usually has to be the logical person. He cannot lead on his feeling. Other than that, the family will crumble. Well, usually you will see the woman is crying, this and the third. Like, bro, you gotta be strong and be a strong man and get that situation fixed. You're not gonna sit there and cry on a couch with your wife or with your partner. The issue needs to be fixed. So that's what I'm saying. So we handling stress differently as two gender. So on a job place, it kind of sort of play the same role. So if you don't see a lot of women in some high level stress job, maybe it's that. Maybe it's that reason. So what do you have, G? So before we close the show tonight, because we're actually exceeding our times. So really anything that you have, G, before we close the show?
I think Wokomi said it well done. She did it. It means be still confused in the sense because I asked you a couple questions, but the way she answered me, she was like, "Where I'm at, where you at?" It's like the questions is not getting it. I don't. Miss B said there's some places still aren't like a woman just because, right? I asked Miss B, what do you think of that? What do you think they're doing that for? She was like, she couldn't answer, right?
Well, I didn't understand your question. So you asking me why do I think
they're
these
doing
places
that? Are
hiring women, one woman.
Yes.
So how am I supposed to know why they are doing it?
But you just said they still do.
So all I'm saying is that there are still places.
What do you think
where they would hire 5 men, 10 men, whatever it is, and then all of a sudden, maybe 3 months later, they'll just get one woman. So that's what I'm saying.
Why?
So how am I supposed to know their method and why? So that's what I'm saying. So why do you think they're doing it?
Miss B, case closed. Let's go for it.
Let's go for it. So as the show started, guys, the question was, what's the difference between a man who carry his provider mindset and versus a rich man, right? And ultimately, this mindset can exist in an individual regardless on their financial status. So as we explain the financial status differences, it doesn't have to be that being a rich man does not mean like you're a provider. And you can be a rich man and also be a provider. But also having the provider mindset, it's actually, in a way, it actually like overlaps everything, because having a provider mindset, you can easily become rich or probably not becoming rich, but at the end of the day, you're gonna do anything in your power to actually provide. It's about being, dependable, like supportive and nurturing in various aspects of life. You know what I mean? So including relationship, family, and any type of community that you're in. So, with the feminism movement, Woko Mommy, hands down, she handled it pretty well, and we do appreciate her, coming to show. So I don't want to repeat everything that she says. You guys already heard everything, and share the live. If you haven't subscribe and share it with people, so they can actually learn something, and we can actually learn something for them, and put some comments in there. We're going to answer you. So let's communicate to each other. Let's learn from one another. So let's close the show. And I don't know if G has a last word. Miss B, do you have any last word? Dr. G, what do you have any last word for the people?
My last word is that Okomami has said it all, so I don't think I have to add anything. But my last thing, the feminism of women as once women in general, in a sense, to me. They want women's beauty. Women think they can have a cut just like men. They do everything just like men. So, hey, if this is what you want to do, who am I to judge you? Who am I to tell you what to do? Hey, choose wisely. But as you said, Mr. Pat, so time don't lie.
Times don't lie. With time, you'll get it.
You will get the message. Trust me. Well, as of now, you probably
don't even have time. So make sure you choose wisely and make the wise decision. So that Miss B, what do you have before we close?
I have a quote from the To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. It says, "People generally see what they look for and hear what they listen for." My thing about the first topic is that we do a lot of assumptions. And that's why I kept repeating that a rich man could have a provider's mindset. and a provider's mindset, is just a characteristics of a man. It doesn't really define. It has nothing to do with financial status, and in that point, I do agree with our friend here, Rokomami. As far as our second topic, I'd say this: empowering yourself, having that self empowerment, the education that you need, being able to take care of yourself and take care of your needs. It's a feeling that honestly, it's the most beautiful thing you could ever have given yourself, to rely on yourself. I'm not saying you can't rely on people. All I'm saying is that being able to rely on yourself when no one else is there, it's a beautiful thing. So doing yourself a favor to learn certain skills has nothing to do with trying to prove yourself to be better than anyone else or any gender. It simply should be that you improving yourself to be a better version than you were yesterday. If you are doing it for something else, then maybe you should check that. That's a psychological part of yourself. But if not, and you are doing it to improve yourself and provide for your family, don't feel bad about becoming whoever you have to become to get there. That's my final word.
Thank you, Miss B. And as usual, welcome to the show, and we'll see you next time. And my name is Patrick, and I have my co-host Dr. G and Miss B. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next Sunday.
Hey guys, I have a last quote for you guys. When you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. So change your perspective. Exactly.
Too.
Change your perspective. Don't be stubborn. As I said, choose wisely. And this is our podcast. A new window to a new perspective, guys. Every Sunday, 7 p.m. We will see you guys next Sunday.